New runs of Alpha are now out. We got new talents to talk about, new character models to talk about, and new PTR testing, a bunch of new Midnight features to get into. So we got a shit ton of stuff to get into. Before we talk about the new talents, we got a lot of new models and stuff to talk about. So let's just dive straight in here. Here we go. Today, you guys can test housing. That's right. Even if you haven't pre-ordered the Midnight Edition, you can now test or player test some new housing features on the PTR. You can download the PTR realms if you haven't already. Pretty easy to do through your Blizzard launcher. And get in here and test the PTR stuff. I believe this is through October 16th. So you'll be able to start today through October 16th if you want to dabble a little bit in player housing, test out some of the stuff. Might be a little bit scuffed. They're testing some new features that they said will go up and down during this testing time. So, but you can get in and see what player housing's like for a little bit if you want to, without having to pre-order Midnight. Now, some other changes coming out with the new alpha. Upgrade crests are finally being changed, boys. One feature that I've been asking for a decade now. Well, crests have been out for a decade, so I'm being a little bit dramatic there. But since crests were introduced post-Dragonflight, I've been saying they need to change these damn crest names, because I can't for the life of me remember what the hell any of these fucking things do. I mean, carved crest, rune crest, you know, a dildo dragon crest. I don't know what any of this stuff is. Now I'll know. Thanks to these new name changes. Yeah, look at that. They match the gear that you're upgrading. Surprise, surprise. That's exactly what they should have done from the very beginning. So now we have Adventurer crests, Veteran crest, Champion, Hero, and Myth crests. Look at that. It's so easy. Now you know if you want to upgrade Myth Track gear, it's going to take some Myth crests. It totally makes sense. Finally, a nomenclature that's easy to do. And now all they got to do is streamline some currencies here, and I think we're off to a pretty good start with this. We got one extra crest. It looks like we do. Do we have one? We do have one extra crest. Well, now they're based on the tracks, so you got five. You got 5 tracks. You got to have 5 gears now, or 5 crests. So I guess that makes sense. Yeah, small indie company, dumbing it down for Sam. Yeah, finally. I know. I just don't want to take time to memorize this shit anymore. I'm sick of it, and they kept changing it every patch and expansion. I don't know what the hell is going on anymore. So there we go. Streamlining. This is a great change. Another good one, and a W for Midnight. Also, they're optimizing the portal rooms. We're going to see a couple portals changing places here. Obviously, with the new Silver Moon hub, Achilles coming in with the sub. Thank you so much, Achilles. 30 months. Oh,
Sam,
my God.
Why do you like finger popping so much?
It's fun. Why not? You know, you go in, you pop out. Who doesn't like stuff like that? But the thing is here, the new Silver Moon portal. So the Alliance is going to have a new Silver Moon portal. It's going to take the place of the old Borealis portal. We also see a few other portals here being moved. For the Horde side, Silver Moon portal is going to take place of your old Silver Moon location. So the old TBC Silver Moon portal will no longer take you there. Instead, you're going to have the Midnight version of the Silver Moon portal. So those will be your capital city portals. We're also each getting a new portal for our housing areas. So Founders Point for the Alliance is being added to the front section of the room, taking the spot of the Azuna portal. I think that's a good change there. Azuna, I haven't used in quite a while. And then the Razorwind Shores portal, that's going to be the one for player housing on the Horde side, is also taking the place of the Azuna portal. A few other little rearrangements here. You can see these 2 maps, this one for the Horde and this one for the Alliance, in terms of where some of these portals are going to get moved around to. But overall, yeah, there's some shuffling was kind of required for these portal rooms, as some of these portals are a bit outdated in their front and center, which they shouldn't be anymore. Looking here at some new armor sets. We have the new Haranir armor set, the Heritage armor set for them. Yes, your favorite class and race is now getting some new armor. And actually, these look pretty cool. As far as like viney, rooty shit goes, you know, how cool can they possibly look? This isn't bad. I kind of like the glow on them. There's 2 different colorways. It looks like here we got a purple and an orange. Here it is on the males. Yeah, I mean, it looks like Haranir stuff. Right, you got roots, you got leaves, you got, you know, a little bit of cock leaf going on here and other things. So yeah, it's a decent looking set, a purple and an orange colorway, and yeah, you Haranir lovers can get yourself some rooty looking armor there. Also, you Amani troll lovers, that's right, you Amani troll lovers, are you going to be able to play Amani trolls? I think so with the new achievement. We still don't know what Amani appearance means. Okay, Amani appearances, I personally think means a customization to a bulkier troll model. Some people think it's just some new beards and shit. I'm not quite sure yet, but I do think it means playable-esque Amani trolls. And hey, look at this. Now we got some Amani troll armor also coming into the game. These Zulaman outdoor sets will make you look like your favorite Amani trolls. We got these new, obviously very Aztec-looking inspired stuff like all the Amani stuff. We got 3 different colorways here. The purple, the green, and the brown one. I think these look great. Very Amani-esque. We also see some new Amani troll weapons as well. Yeah, very, I don't know, tribalistic weapons, you could call them. Some rudimentary stuff here, a nice little bow, a nice little axe, some offhand weapons, staff, nothing crazy, but yeah, very Amani Troll-esque, definitely fits the aesthetic for those playable Amani Trolls coming with the achievement, that's right. They look like trash. I hope you're not talking about the Amani Troll ones, maybe the Haranir Heritage Armor, but yeah, they look fine. They look like, by the way, these are outdoor sets, so I mean, for an outdoor set, this is pretty nice. Moving on to new character models, and something very important to notice with one of them. We got Varisa here. Varisa is going to play a big role in the Midnight expansion, obviously one of the Windrunner sisters. She is also the one, if you didn't know, who raised Eretor, right? Eretor's parents were kind of shitty, right? They kind of ran off into 1,000 Years' War and left him as a baby. Well, we know that Varisa picked up and, basically acted as his mother during that time. So she's going to play a role in some of the quests that we do with Eretor throughout Midnight. And yeah, she's got a cool new model, still looking hot, of course, and nice new armor as well. She has a new model, which looks cool, and there's nothing crazy about it, but what is crazy is her sister's model. Now, I don't really consider this a spoiler, but Sylvanas is coming back, okay? As expected, we kind of all knew this was happening, and we did talk about this earlier, but the last time I showed this in a video, people popped off about the weapon that Sylvanas is showing up with, and some of the voice lines that she has. So here it is. We see Sylvanas, and you might notice something's missing here. It's her bow. She doesn't have a bow, but instead she looks like she has a jailer-inspired harp with her, and some people are saying this could be the introduction to the BARD class. And I was sitting there, oh, what are you talking about, the BARD class? Could this be a first hint that we are, in fact, going to get a BARD class? And then they dug deeper into the data mining here, and it looks like the only lines data mined right now for Sylvanas are her singing. The Thalassian song is what it's called. So it looks like Sylvanas will be playing the harp and singing us a song. So, I mean, could this be a hint at a BARD class, some kind of BARD buff? Look, the whole thing is, right now we have Augmentation Evokers, your only real, like, buff class out there right now. And what that's done for Blizzard is it's basically meant we can't buff the buff class, because if we do, then it requires you to bring Augmentation Evokers into 5-man content, and they don't want to require one class to be brought. So Augmentation's been sitting kind of in the gutter. The only way really to fix that right now is to introduce maybe other buff classes, so that way there's not only one choice when it comes to buff classes. And yes, BARD has been talked about as a buff class for quite a long time now. Not the BARD class stuff, just Sylvanas singing. I mean, we'll see. Well, that could be it, J-Mal. I'm not disagreeing with you. But I do think it's interesting that she's dropping the bow, picking up a harp. She has singing voice lines. If anything, it's going to give you maybe a chance to emote and sing yourself in the game. Maybe they're batting that. I don't know. But it's definitely something that it's interesting. We can play with it, dabble in it a little bit and speculate on what we want. Oh my God, it's not required. People just want it and refuse to not have it. That's the issue with players. Well, look, the meta, I agree, is never required, Cadence, but the meta is what it is. And WoW players are degenerates and they want to play the meta, and when it requires an Augmentation Evoker is the only buff class in the game, well then, people are going to bring Augmentation Evokers. So we'll see what happens with this, but yeah, cool looking model. Sylvanas still looking hot as well. All the Windrunner sisters look hot, so that fits the bill right there. Moving on here, we got nameplate changes. We know nameplate changes were coming. With the, removal of add-ons, Blizzard's talked about nameplates being a big thing they're focusing on in Midnight, and these nameplates look great. So, first off, we know these new nameplates are going to be showing the rarity of mobs, the total health of the enemy, important casts and interruptible casts, and relevant combat buffs. So, looking right here visually, it makes sense to me. I mean, I can obviously tell where the health is. The cast right here is, it looks like this mob is casting Void Bolt. It looks like he's targeting this character right here, and I think visually it makes sense. It looks like it gives me everything I need. In terms of customization, there's quite a lot here. We can see the customization menu right here. You could change the size of the entire thing. Buffs and debuffs can be changed in size as well. Different styles to choose from, which we'll look at here in a second. We also see the nameplate information. You can change what's being shown there. Right now they have health and health percentage and rarity icons. Cast bar information showing spell name, spell icon, and more. Aggro display, progressive. That's great for tanking. Obviously, I use nameplates to understand if I have aggro, so I want to know that. That's a good one. Enemy NPC buffs. What do we have here? Personal debuffs. Okay, that makes sense. Enemy player buffs / debuffs. We have enemy buffs and personal debuffs. So all the buffs and debuffs here for these things, and the friendly player debuffs and buffs. The debuff padding, looks like you could scale that as well. And then simplify nameplates. I'm not sure what this option would do for you. What the hell would simplify nameplates? Minions, miners, friendly players, and friendly NPCs for the simplified nameplates. Okay. So a lot of changes, a lot of customizations you can make to these as expected, as there should be. I mean, that's how the add-on works. But let's check out these different styles here. So you can obviously put in, it looks like, the text inside of the bars or on top of the bars if you want thinner bars or more streamlined bars. You can also change the way the spell text works too, putting it outside or inside of the bars. These look pretty good. I think there are some nice choices here. And then finally, it looks like the cast focus style you can also change. So putting a little, what is this, highlight around it? I don't know what this is actually changing here. But yeah, different things you can change. Highlighting important casts and targets. This is good. Oh, so you can see a little shine around the bar here. This is an important cast, maybe one that you'd want to interrupt. Blizzard did say that they want to make interruptible abilities or abilities that you should interrupt more obvious. But it should be something that's very clear to you, like this needs to be interrupted. Stop your parse, you jackass, and actually click your interrupt. That's something that's good. I think it's something that people need to know, and a lot of people honestly ignore, which leads to a lot of deaths and frustration and runs. So this would be a good thing for people to figure out. What you can't, you edit in nameplate. So what can't you edit? Where text is presented outside of the style options, color and customization options for the bars. Some people like class colors and stuff like that. It looks like you can't do that yet. Font options and locations of the buffs and debuffs. So these are the things you can't change right now that you clearly could do in the add-on. How do Blizzard nameplates compare to the add-ons right now? I would say pretty decent. I mean, if just in my opinion, it's obviously not where the add-on currently is right now, but I think it'll get there eventually. And this is at least, you know, I think this is like a basic thing that should have been in the game a long time ago. So at least now they have this basic version of these nameplates, so if somebody new comes into the game, can properly play the game without having to go download an add-on. I think this is an overall good change. The new nameplates are definitely an improvement over the old ones, so these look pretty good. Looking at some new models of profession weapons and things. So we got a few little, you know, for you profession Andes out there, very blood elven inspired weapons, it looks like, for your different professions. We got leather working knives, mining, skinning knives, blacksmithing maces. Sure, all the profession Andes rejoice out there. You got yourself some new profession weapons. That's great for you guys. Nothing too exciting. Oh, it's a nice looking fishing pole though. Yeah, it's a decent looking fishing pole. Looking at these, yeah, okay, cool. New weapons, why not? But we also got new raid weapons. Now, this matters a little bit more because transmog. I mean, why not? A lot of these weapons, I was looking at them before. These are from the Void Spire, most likely. The first raid that we're going to be getting. They look very voidy and knight, or I should say, again, blood elfin inspired. So we see different two-handed axes here. This is kind of cool. Looks like it has a cracks of light coming through it. Different colorways, obviously, for different difficulties, things like that. Different bows here as well. A massive looking gun with a big fat barrel. That's what you like to see. Some cool looking warglaives. These are decent looking warglaives. Again, this one almost looks night elf inspired. I don't know if it's the colorway or what, but something gives me night elf vibes here. You don't like them? Can I have the old ones? Are you talking about the professional weapons? Yeah, they're fine. Different fister weapons here for those of you who like to fist things. We got some daggers as well, some decent looking daggers. I mean, nothing crazy here. There's no weapon really that sticks out here that's telling me, oh my god, I gotta go get this right now. All pretty standard looking weapons. I guess they fit the raid aesthetic. Again, just going through these here. Pole arm. Okay, a shield. It's a big boy shield. This one looks like a good shield for a paladin, honestly. But nothing crazy. Some good glow effects on this shield for sure. I think this is a nice looking shield. I still wish sometimes Death Knights could use shields. Looking at here, what do we got? Two-handed swords, different things. Yeah, it's all right. Kind of Titan-y looking as well when you look at these, aren't they? They do kind of give me like a Titan feeling. I don't know if it's the squared off look to them all. But we'll see where all these weapons drop from. As I said before, I believe this is the first raid. We're going to get 3 raids in the Midnight Expansion. And it looks like these kind of fit the aesthetic of the first raid. So tanks and healers. Blizzard has addressed recently the tank and healing issue. And they're trying to address it and looking for a group, or at least Ian addressed it in a question. So Ian was asked about any plan changes coming for the way people queue up as a tank or healer for dungeons. And he talked about the difficulty that tanks and healers encounter that maybe DPS don't, and he understands that difficulty exists, and there's less of them out there because of that, and they need to maybe incentivize more. But it looks like right now, if I could summarize what he kind of said here, there aren't really any plans in place right now. They're talking about it. They want to see what they want to do. Maybe some bonus shit. I really don't know how you solve the tanking and healing issue other than just not making it as difficult as it currently is. Blizzard's changes that came about in the War Within post-Dragonflight really squishified tanks and made healing way more difficult. I've said this many times before, and I'll say it again. I think that was a bad thing for tanking and healing. They thought it would make the game more interesting, more, engaging. But instead, I just think it turned off a lot of healers and tanks to the game. Now, one thing you can get out of this is that they want to make changes to taking and healing so less add-ons are required, specifically for healings. They said right here, Ian said, you need to be, for healing right now, you need to be aware of when every mechanic is coming up that might cause burst damage. You might need to pre-shield, pre-hot, and all that stuff. We think that disarming add-ons that you currently need basically to do all these encounters is going to lead to changes in the way the fights work as well. They said they want to keep the same overall difficulty, but I think that we can make the experience more approachable just in terms of a couple fewer things going on at the same time that hopefully for those who are stressed out and pressured about healing, the group's survival depends on you, that they can make it more manageable and create a smoother on-ramp for healers. For tanking as well, Ian talked about the knowledge base that's required, the routes and everything, how you have to know what all the mobs do, which mobs to pull, which ones to skip. He understands that, but as I said before, in summary, he basically says they're talking about maybe changes coming to LFR and stuff like that, but nothing, or I should say looking for group, but nothing yet in the plans. 1,200 pulls for the 4th boss incoming. I mean, it hurts. A lot of pulls hurt, but it's just part of the process sometimes. Also, they talked about the what's it called? The deserter system and how they feel about that right now. And they said overall they're happy with the new abandonment system, marking players that are abandoned. They actually said that they have less reports right now for toxic cases when it comes to those players because, yeah, you abandon a run, hey, you get marked. You're not going to get invited. That toxic guy is now gone from the queues for a little while, which maybe means less people reporting that person. So overall, I think the deserter system has been good. I appreciate it. As somebody who tanks in the game, I try not to desert groups. I stick with the group as long as the group's willing to stick together. And hey, sometimes if a disband happens, vote on it, disband the group, and you're out. Finally, class changes, guys. There's a lot of class changes coming in Midnight. I mean, pages and pages. We looked at them before. But I actually wanted to look at some of the new talents. So a lot of classes are getting new talents. In fact, all classes are getting new talents. I don't know if all the talents are here in these patch notes right now, but we're going to go through some of the new ones that a lot of the classes are getting here and see if they sound interesting, right? Yeah, new talents are always fun. New abilities, why not? Looking right here, first things first, as always, we got Death Knights. Death Knights get a new talent called Death Note, which makes Ray's ally now cost 30 runic power. They also have Death's Defiance. The cooldown of Death Pack is reduced by 30 per second, and you receive a 50% increase in healing while its healing absorb is active. Oh, okay. So, making healing a little bit easier, maybe on the healers. Yeah, why not? New talent, Blood Bond. While you are below 50% health, your ghoul sacrifices 4% of its maximum health to heal you for 1% of your maximum health every second. That's another nice little Bloods are going to have a good time. Looks like we're getting some good healing buffs here. Unholy Momentum, okay, and then nothing else here looks like for Blood DKs or Death Knights in general. So those are your new talents for Death Knights as of right now. Oh, we also have a new talent, I should say for Frost and Blood. Hold on. Frigid Resolve. The effectiveness of permafrost is increased by 100%, and Exterminate grants permafrost equal to 10% damage dealt. Additionally displays permafrost information. Okay, sure. Yeah, buffing permafrost there. Another new talent here for Frost, Frigid Resolve. The effectiveness of permafrost is increased by 50%. Additionally displays permafrost information. Okay, so nice new talents there. Nothing, I don't think it's that exciting, but some nice new healing abilities maybe, or healing buffs for Blood DKs. For Demon Hunter, let's see what the new talents are. Focus Ire. the primary targets of Chaos and Void Nova is stunned for an additional 2 seconds. We also see Demonic Resilience as a new talent. Demon Spikes / Blur gains an additional charge. Okay. Burn It Out. Immolation Aura additionally dispels one disease effect choice node with Soul Cleanses. And then we have another new talent here, Soul Cleanse. Immolation Aura additionally dispels one curse effect choice node with Burn It Out. I mean, you demon hunters in the chat, I don't know what the hell's going on here, but I guess you're getting a bunch of little buffs here with some of these talents. It doesn't look like any crazy new abilities. Remorseless attacks and abilities. Fury deal 3% additional damage. We see Furious here. Attacks and abilities for Furry deal 3% increased damage. Yeah, you heard me right, Furry. New talent, First In, Last Out. Fell Rush / Infernal Strike Shift grants you a rapid decay shield for 6% your maximum health. So a nice new shield there for you guys. Man, Demon Hunter's getting the most new talents of everybody right now. A new talent here, Soul Splitter. Anytime you would generate one or more soul fragments, you have a 2 to 4% chance to generate an additional soul fragment. And then the final one here, Fellbound. Your movement speed is increased by 3% as if they need more movement speed. That's crazy. Available to Vengeance and Havoc only. So there you go. Some nice new Demon Hunter abilities here. I don't see any other new talents. So yeah, a lot actually. I think Demon Hunter is getting the most because I already pre-looked at some of these. I mean, that's a lot of new talents. Okay, moving on to Druid. Gee, I wonder why. Oh, right. Maybe it's because they're getting a new spec. Yeah, maybe. Maybe you're right, Cadence. That might be a good point. That's their new spec's giving them a lot more talents. That's true. Okay, for Druid, what do we see here? Nothing here, nothing. Okay, new talent right here. Stretch time. While flying during Breath of Eons or Deep Breath, 100%. Oh, this is Evoker. What did I say for Druid? Nothing. We have nothing for Druid. Okay, I was going to say, what kind of Druid is doing Breath? So for Evoker now, while flying during Breath of Eons or Deep Breath, 100% of the damage you would take is instead dealt over 10 seconds. So a little buff to your damage taken. Or I should say a debuff to your damage taken that increases the damage, decreases the damage because it spreads it over time, making you a more healable target. New talent, we have Strike from Above. Guile, speed, and height increased by 20%. That's nice. Glide, I should say. So you're increasing your height. Oh, going to new heights there for the Evokers. Pretty good. New talent, Strike from Above. We also see Twin Guardian. Nothing here, nothing. Okay, so that's it. You got those two new talents that I see here for Evoker. Oh, we also see Augmentation. Improved Defy Fate. Defy Fate healing increased by 100%, and its cooldown reduced by 1 minute. So a nice little healing buff. I'm kind of noticing a theme here so far. A lot of healing buffs. A lot of buffs to healing overall, so maybe they are trying to make healing a little bit more easy in this game. For Hunter, let's move on to Hunter now. New talent, Masterful Call. The duration of Master's Call is increased by 2 seconds, and it's increased movement speed of its target by 20%. Choice node against Slick Shoes. And then we have a new talent, Precision Strike. Auto attack and auto shot damage increased by 25%. Nice little buff there. Moment of Opportunity. When a trap triggers, gain 30% movement speed for 3 seconds. Choice node, Trailblazer. And then we see another one here, Shell Wall. Damage taken during aspect of the turtle is reduced by an additional 20%. So again, another little buff to some damage reductions and buffs to healing. A lot of that going on here. Wow, Hunters have a lot, actually. Cold Feet. When your freezing trap breaks, the victim's movement speed is reduced by 70% for 4 seconds. That's a nice PvP one. Combat experience. Agility increased by 3%. We also see a new talent here, improved snare. Wing clip slows an additional 25%. Concussive shot slows an additional 10%. A lot of slow abilities getting buffed here. Horsehair tether. When an enemy is stunned by blind shot, it is dragged to the blinding shot center. Choice node against target. That's a pretty nice ability to pull targets together. So it drags them to the center of the blinding shot. That sounds like a death grip. That's nice. Roar of Sacrifice. Instructs your pet to protect your friendly target, reducing their damage taken by 15%, but 50% of all damage taken by the target is transferred to your pet. Lasts an additional 10 seconds. until your pet's health drops below 25%. So that's a nice one. Put your pet on the tank. Let the tank get some additional buff to reduce damage there. Beast Mastery Hunter. What we got here? Nothing. Marksmanship, nothing. Survival, nothing. Hero talents here for Mage. Let's see what their new talents are. New class here. Okay, here we go. Class talents. Silent Sanctuary. While no enemies are within 15 yards, you heal every 3 seconds. Still Step Coil. Leg Sweep applies Disable for 5 seconds when it ends. Okay, nothing there. Serene Surge. After casting Enveloping Mist, your next Shylin's Gift or Vivify becomes an instant cast. Choice Node for Vicarious, whatever the fuck this is, for Mistweaver Monk. I don't know what the hell's going on here. But some decent stuff, I guess, for Serene Surge. Reinvigorate. After Detox successfully removes an effect from an ally, their movement speed is increased to 30%, by 30%. Also, Vital Clarity. Vivify, a lot of Vivify shit going on here. And Shaolin's Gift critical strike chances are increased by 50% on yourself, replaces Vigorous Expulsion. And then we see Mistcaller here. Vivify and Shaolin's Gift trigger an additional gust on the mist when the cast on yourself, replacing Strength of Spirit, Profound Rebuttal, Choice Node for Mistweaver Monk, and then Fishes of Zen is now a 2-point talent. Okay, so fine. Other new talent. Man, Monk's getting a lot of shit too. What the hell? We got some new Mistweaver stuff here. Emperor's Elixir. Thunder Focus Tea now empowers the Enveloping Mist, Rising Sun Kick. Okay, Enveloping Mist, blah, blah, that's fine. A new talent here, Misty Coalescence. Renewing Mist healing is increased by up to 300% in proportion to the cover and in its coverage of yourself and your allies. So another buff there to healing. Yeah, a lot of buffs to healing. As I said, seems like a common theme here with a lot of these challenge changes. And then finally here, we're getting close to the end. For Paladins, I don't see any new talents here for Paladins as of yet, but that doesn't mean you're not going to get anything, just nothing here in these patch notes so far for this alpha build. For Priest, new talent, Overwhelming Shadows. Discipline, Mind Blast deals 100% increased damage, and Shadow Void Torrent deals 50% increased damage, while see Quicken Pulse, Shadow Ward Pain, and Tropic Rift deals 25% more often, and then Touch of the Void. Void Heart now persists for 8 seconds, and then Tropic Rift ends. And then Void Heart has changed positions, so there you go. Some changes there to how a lot of people are getting rearranged with their talent trees as well, by the way. And yes, I know going through these sometimes can be a lot, but every class deserves its attention. So here we go, Rogue as well. We got new talent, Toxic Stiletto. Really? Rogues are wearing stilettos now? Okay. Shiv energy cost is reduced by 20. Its cooldown reduced by 15 seconds, and its range increased by 2 yards, so nice buffs there. Quick Fingers, agility increased by 3%. For here it is, Deep Cuts, another new talent. Damage dealt by your finishing moves increased by 6%, so nice finishers there. We see this one, Danger Sense. You have a 20% chance to partially evade any damage dealt to you, reducing the damage it deals by 20%. And then that's it for Rogue. So Rogue's getting some buffs there to some of their abilities. A few little, what's it called? A few little increases to damage dealing and damage absorption, it looks like, which is another common theme. Shaman. What do we got for Shaman? Anything new? Looks like Elemental. New talent improved. Voltic Blaze. Voltic Blaze cooldown reduced by 5%. And that's it. That's it for Shaman. I don't see anything else. Nothing else for Shaman. Okay, great. You got a cooldown reduction. There's your new ability. A week ago, the Beaver has speed run the last week's. Yeah, I have to go through all of it. I got as a man of the people, I got to cover the people's news. But we're almost through here. Warlock, Diabloic Acolyte. You summon a Diabloic Echolis up to 3. Each time the duration of Diabolic Ritual is reduced by 1 of your spells. Diabloic Acolyte explodes when consuming demonic art, dealing fire damage to all enemies within 8 yards of the target. Damn, this is the newest talent I've seen. You guys get it. Warlocks are actually getting a full-on new ability. This is him trying. True. Yeah, Diabolic. Okay, diabolic. Sure, that's the word, but Diablo kind of sounds cooler. I don't know if you agree with me on that, but I think so. Yeah, so it's diabolic. This is a fully new ability. This is the newest of the new. This actually sounds like a fully new way to play some Diablo with stuff. So this is cool. New talent. Looks that kill. Your Diabolic Acolyte now casts Diabolic Gaze at your primary's target every 1 second. So it looks like Blizzard's putting a lot of Diabloist attention here. New talent, Mind's Eye. Your Diabolic Acolyte observes the battlefield and collects information that is imparted to you upon being exploded. Each demonic acolyte increases your intellect by 2%. This is cool. This is probably the biggest redo we've seen. It looks like warlocks are getting more attention than anybody here. Also, new talents for Hellcaller. Hellcaller's Wrath. These are the final ones here. Increases the damage of Unstable Affliction by 4% and the Seed Corruption by 4%. Devil Fruit. Periodic damage dealt by the Witcher. Has a chance to grant Malevolent for 8 seconds. And then we see Thoringer's Iniquity. Malevolence grants an additional 4% haste when casts increase the stack count of the active withers by an additional 2 stacks. So I don't know what any of that means. Maybe you warlocks out there do. Sounds like you're getting some new shit. We're kind of rearranged in how it works. And then finally, Soul Harvester, new talent, Manifest of Avarice. Each succulent soul consumed has an increased chance to unleash a demonic soul within you, enabling it to assault the enemies for 9 seconds. Is it me or are warlocks getting some of the coolest shit right now? Soul Swipe, strike a nearby enemy with a Malevolent Claw, dealing shadow damage to its target and shadow damage to other enemies by 10 yards. Shared Vessel increases your mastery by 4%. This effect is doubled while a demonic entity is aiding you in combat. And then finally here, Eternal Hunger. Increases your duration of Manifest Avarice by 5 seconds and increases the damage of Soul Swipe by 10%. So there you go. These are all the new talents coming in. Quite a lot, actually. It looks like if I had to pick between these, I would say Warlock getting one of the biggest reworks. Also, Priest has some decent stuff, but Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter getting a ton of stuff as well. So all the demonist stuff is getting a lot of attention here. A lot of these changes are going to continue to change. A lot of new stuff coming in. We'll continue to cover it as it comes out. But for today, that is all in terms of news.